And only once.
Okay.
Our community is ever growing, but still suffers from a disinterest in science and technology with little to no opportunities within the field. We at Kalinga have proposed a certificate that allows students and adults to enroll to attain certified work within science tech, biotech, chemtech industries, and an internship. The benefits of the certificate allow students to operate, handle, and work within laboratory environments. Sorry. Allows
Eric, is that you?
It is me. Hi, Dr. Valeria.
Okay.
Allows students to operate, handle, and work within research institutions, laboratory environments, and the handling of hazardous chemicals and science-based technologies. Students involved with this program will receive a 3-month internship to start working at a company. They benefit the students from this program by receiving financial support and education to further their careers within the science field. The companies benefit from this program through being able to personally train, manage their students to better suit them to their company standards and practices. We believe that this program, if co-aligned with the company, will benefit both the college and the company themselves personally.
Good afternoon, I'm Juan Pimentel, but for further information, students upon completing the first year in the program will be awarded with the General Science Technology Certificate, which will cover general laboratory management, good manufacturing practices, as well as chem and bio foundation courses. Students, sorry about that.
You're doing great.
The company, upon the completion of the first year, the company is free to visit our campus, evaluate and observe candidates that are best matched for the internship. From there, the 3-month internship will give students the work experience they needed to seamlessly adapt to the company's needs. After which, both parties will opt in or opt out for a further 3 months, this time at the company's expense. And afterwards, they can branch out, right? So instead of doing general science tech, students can now do a certificate for biotech or chemtech, which will follow the same blueprint. 3 months of paid internship by the grant, and then the company, at their expense, can fund the other 3 months of the internship. Afterwards, if they think if the company thinks the student's a good fit, they can hire a student, they can work full-time for the company.
Firstly, all we ask would be a letter of support where you would have 3 months of where you would have agreed to the terms of our program to provide internships to students. To students, which we would use to cover those first 3 months of the internship. Secondly, the co-alignment.
So our second agreement, right, would be for the co-alignment with our campus and the company, which would establish a strong curriculum for the development of work-ready technicians and allow their employees to come to our campus and teach an industry-relevant course. So it's a win-win for everyone involved, because the company can then teach their practices and build up the skills of the students, and then the students, if matched with the company, can come over, do the internship, and are completely ready from the get-go to work for that company. The last.
And the last part is the company would sit on our industry board. So we'll call it the Business Industry Leadership Team. And so by them sitting there, they'll be able to sit there and influence the curriculum, make sure that the program stays sustainable. And we can keep getting their potential employees coming to our campuses. So did you guys kind of get the big picture? And if you could do me a favor, Mind sending the image to everyone?
Yeah, I sent you, you know.
Okay. Let me look at it. So we have an image of it, so to kind of help you visualize it as well too. Do you guys have any questions for us right now?
I have a million questions.
Excellent.
Should I just throw them out there?
Start throwing them out there.
Is this related to the ATE proposal?
Yes, this is the ATE proposal.
Okay. Subsequent to that, what company is it?
So it's actually a couple of companies. It's not just a single company. So the idea is that we're going to be servicing various industries, right? Primarily in our areas, we have a lot of food industries. Tomotech, we have Leprino Foods, we have
Olam just closed.
yeah.
Unfortunately, I'm just, it's out
Yeah,
there.
yeah, but there are several that are along the way. We also have various ag-related businesses that also deal a lot with chemistry. And so that's what is it called? I can't remember. Simplot?
Simplot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Simplot. There's also, of course, we have Chevron and we have Aria, or the new Aria that is owned by another company now. And so these are the companies that these guys are going to be pitching to. We're going to clean it up, but they're going to be pitching into them. So,
Did you talk to the people from Wonderful?
and we're going to be talking to the people from Wonderful as well, because a lot of these companies have laboratories or they have forms of production that deals with biotech or chemtech. And so we're going to capitalize on that and start getting our students entryway into these programs and to their jobs. So like over the last couple of about a year and a half, I've been looking at job opportunities. And typically what happens, these job opportunities sit for a long time, and these companies start to hire from outside of our area. And then people come here, they stay here for a little bit, and they realize that it's an acquired taste. And then they get the skills and they move on to somewhere else. And so then a few months later, you'll see this job offered again. And so here, this is an opportunity for us to serve the companies and serve the community at once.
Yeah, I get it. I didn't realize I was listening to an employer pitch. You gentlemen did a very fine job, FYI. Now it makes a whole lot more sense. Okay. So perfect. It's a big buy-in for these companies, right? To do paid internships, because we're talking about internships paid by the company, not by the grant.
So it's a combination of both. So 3 months of it will be paid by the grant. And then the next 3 months, if the company wants to keep that individual, then they'll pay the next 3 months paid by the company.
So what I heard was year one, a certificate that's going to be developed, right? This general science technology certificate. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Yep.
That's supplemented with a 3-year internship that's paid for by the NSF. Yes.
Yes.
A student continues through the program to receive a certificate after year 2 or thereabouts, either in biotech or chemtech. And if they return to the employer subsidizes.
Take a step back, one step back, actually. So
Okay.
they have that option. It's an off ramp for the student, right? So they can go ahead and get their certificate. They can do their internship. And then if the company likes that student and wants to keep that student, then the company will pay another 3 months of internship. Then they have the option of hiring that student permanent.
Okay.
So the object is to try to sit there and have each certificate take about a year to complete. And if the student wants to come back, then they come back and they get more experience. So then they get more developed rather than just general science. They'll move into either biotech or chemtech, which will take another year to complete.
So how long is in total the certificate, Karen?
So the certificate itself will be, the coursework is a year of coursework. Each certificate is a year of coursework.
Okay.
These are chancellor's office certificates at 18.5 units or above.
Yes, well, it has to be, yes, we have to keep it within a certain limit, yes.
Got
But
it.
we to make sure that they have the scientific foundation, but then they're gonna also need that industry-specific foundation. And so some of the other coursework is gonna be dealing with that. And then, of course, we want stuff included as well, like those soft skills. So they're gonna be courses that are gonna deal with soft skills. In addition to that, you guys go ahead and have a seat.
Soft skills.
Soft skills.
I love it. So soft skills for employment are integrated into the curriculum.
That's right.
I love it. Well, I had another question. I'm just looking through my notes that I've been taking here.
And,
Oh, are
sorry.
these, I'm sorry, go ahead, Valeria.
So you say that they take classes for like 1 year, right, Ken?
Yes.
Do they start the internship like in the second semester, in
So-
semester 1, or when they're done? Sorry, I'm just trying to make a flow chart.
Let
Okay.
me pull up the image for you real quick.
Thank
have to
you.
bear with me since we have to run around and get audio working, so give me 1 second.
I need kind of a flow chart. I'm slow.
We have a flow chart for you.
Thank you, Ken. By the way, did you create the team where we can have like working on the files?
I'm doing that.
Right.
I'll have that done today where you guys, rather than you guys have to get my emails.
Are you threatening me?
Yes, I'm threatening you. Always.
Cheesecake will work better. So it's 1 year. What is the name of that big farm on the 145? They help a lot to the farm.
Don Cameron's farm. That's the one you're thinking of. I can't remember the name of it. It's Don Cameron.
Okay.
That's the guy who owns it.
The one with the 2 giant faces of the mask.
Yep.
You know that those 2 are actual people,
Yeah.
by the way.
Terra Nova Ranch.
What was the name of the ranch again?
Terra Nova.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
The very bottom one.
Look at you. I like that.
So it isn't me. These, I have to give credit where credit's due. That was Fabian and Eric and Juan. Yeah, and Said and Said, yes.
Well, you guys are great, man. And this stuff looks good.
We've got to fix one little thing though.
You got a what?
We've got to fix one little thing. But that's- yeah, but we'll get that, you know, that,
Sure.
so.
My thought here is kind of circling back to some. I'm trying to make the most of my 4 minutes I have left. I apologize because what a great presentation. I hate to jam out of it, but I have a meeting I have to make. Are we going after a planning grant or an implementation grant?
It's a little bit of both, actually. So we're doing the implementation. It is actually an implementation grant. There are.
Okay, so we're going to be a track 2, right? Because the difference in funding is fairly substantial, but you can only apply for 1 track at a time.
No, actually, you can't. You can apply for a couple of tracks, but the idea is that we wouldn't use the same grant for the other track if you're applying for another one. You know what I'm saying? So, but the idea is there's more to it than just this aspect of it. This is the ultimate goal, but there's also feed into the program. And then there's also the community engagement that's going to be a part of this as well too. And so one of the biggest issues that we've found here within the Central Valley is that we have a lot of teenage pregnancies within our valley. And one of the issues is childcare directly associated with that. And so we're gonna do is also in that grant, we're gonna also try to see about finding ways to help with that subsidy of childcare by these internships as well. So based upon the need and also partnering with our programs here at the colleges. Okay, so that's one aspect of it. The other thing is that we are also going to kind of encourage recruitment of students from the high school level. We're gonna be doing training for high school teachers in biotech. Help them with kind of subsidizing their program so that they can introduce biotech at the high school level, so the high school students will get an early hands-on training with the biotech program. We're gonna start with the biotech program, we're gonna see how that goes, because a lot of that is already done. There's other programs that are responsible for that training, and we're gonna tap into that. And one of the companies is called Baybeck. And they're in the Bay Area, and they do training for high schools in that Bay Area. They also provide equipment at a low cost rate, and then also supplies as needed for the different ones. And so what we would do for the high school students, we would also provide a stipend for them to come in. We'll have them here for like 2 or 3 days, staying in a dorm, and then we will pay them a stipend to do this. And then upon the completion, if they do so many experiments, they get the second half of that stipend. Okay.
I would like to have.
Go ahead.
Never mind, that was it. It's a small detail, never mind, not relevant.
No, at your small detail, please.
That if you're planning to have high schoolers living in the dorms, they have to be during the summer when we don't have the college students. I don't think that legally we can
Okay.
have the two group H's in the campus, in the dorms, but.
Not high schoolers, high school instructors, high school teachers.
Okay, I missed that second word, sorry.
Yes, so because the high school teachers, a lot of the high school teachers aren't trained in biotech. A lot of them don't even know what biotech is. And we need to do a full frontal teaching session to help our community understand what biotech is. And so that they'll understand what it is, and so it becomes a viable option as a career. We're gonna be targeting, the idea is to target the community as a whole, but we're gonna start with the high school itself, so they get trained in how to do some of the labs in biotech. And then we're also gonna target communities, and so we're gonna have,
I'm sorry, I have to run. I apologize.
Bye, Brian.
Can I put in 2 cents for you, Dr. Henry, real quick?
Yes.
Can we schedule a meeting for sometime next week to get everybody back in who couldn't make it today? Would that be okay?
that would be perfect, yes.
Okay.
And then I'll send them the recording of this, so that they'll have it. as
Oh,
well.
that's right. We're gonna have a recording. So I'll add another 2 cents before I leave.
Yeah.
My thought here is we have an ATE proposal and an STEM proposal. Maybe that's an idea, right? We can also write an STEM because we, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just a thought. Kalinga hasn't had an STEM, so that's a scholarships in STEM.
Yeah,
Thank you.
but they also, within this program, they will also provide scholarship money as a supplement. as
Sure.
well. Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much.
So, Valeria, are you with me still? Do I
Of
have-
course, when did I leave you alone? No,
Okay.
I have a question. Can you stop the recording now? Because it's you and I.
No, but I need, because your questions are gonna be good, and then I'll need those to share with everyone else.
Maybe that's why I want the recording to stop. No. Who's going to teach the high school instructors?
So that's Baybeck, that's what they do, that's their job.
Oh,
And so we don't have to do anything, we can actually come there and learn some of the skills ourselves.
no, I will be happy to go.
Yeah. So, it'll be like a 2 or 3 day training. We'll put them up in the dorms here and then, feed them and take care of them. And so.
Okay. And I'm assuming that this grant comes with the money to pay the people to teach the high schooler instructors.
So actually, there is a way that they will actually use their grant to actually pay for part of that.
Okay.
And so we're gonna try to get a letter of support from them as well.
It's a lot of information. Yeah. Can you go to the slide number 4 on the PPT?
Number 4 is the old slide we borrowed from someone else to kind of get an idea of how to write it, so it's not good. You're talking about this one here?
Yeah.
Okay. So this one it's still a work in progress. We're still working out the detail because we don't have an idea of how much it's gonna cost yet. But the idea is that we also want to sit there and set up for companies to upskill their workers, right? So let's say entry-level employees, they want to get into the areas where they're working in the laboratory or working more heavily with the science aspect of it. We want to be able to take those employees and take them to that next level. And so we're going to get an idea of how much that would cost the company, you know, normally if they would have to do it independent of us and then with us doing it. So.
Good.
Okay, and you know, the thing that we want to push is that, you know, the psi squared, you know, it's exponential growth. And so this is just kind of a model of each of the certificate programs, right? You start off, you do your 3 to 6 months internship, then you finish the program, and then you have the option of continuing growing. You can get to the next level.
Okay. And do you have any letters of these companies already in, or?
That's what we're working on. I have 1 letter. I probably have 2 if I really push right now. But those are companies that I already had in my back pocket, so.
Okay.
And what we want to do is, it's something, and actually we have it set up as one of our goals in the grant, is to build our BUILT team. BUILT stands for Business and Industry Leadership Team, okay? We want to build it so that we have enough employers that are going to continuously need employees. If we keep it small, it's not going to help our little area, right? Because those jobs are going to be filled and they're going to stay there for a while, you know? Because you assume that, like, there are only going to be a couple students that I think that are going to try to go all the way through, right? And then the idea of this is also some of those low enrolled courses to kind of up those low enrolled courses, you know, like our organic chemistry, our bio 1 and bio 1A and 1B courses, right?
Okay.
So, but that's on the back end. I'm not gonna say anything about that, but you know, we need to get those courses more sustainable. And the way that you do that is by having small programs, and people are more apt to try to finish a small program where they know that they can get a job that they're gonna be making more.
Yeah. Okay. I'm going to put all these on the Teams, right? So I can read it.
Yeah, we're gonna put this, it's all in writing, and it's also in the goals that we've already sent out. It's in the early pitch that we have, and now we have our new pitch, you know, and so.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, and we'll put that in the Teams today, so that, you know, but we want to clean up some of the images and stuff so that some of the mistakes that we overlooked.
Okay. No problem. It looks good.
Thank you, they worked hard.
In the slide number 3, I will delete the graph. It doesn't contribute.
The graph?
Yeah. Not that one.
Or this one?
Yeah.
Okay, delete the graph, okay. Thank you.
I didn't understand what it was doing.
Yeah, it's just to show exponential growth. That's what one of our slogans is that.
So make it smaller on the right corner.
Okay, smaller on the right corner. You guys got that? Yeah. Oh, okay.
It distracts me from reading. Group it and then move it and. Never mind. Sorry.
It's a work in progress. Can we?
No, it looks great.
Yeah.
Eric, don't forget that you have an exam on Tuesday, okay?
She's talking to you.
I know, I'm studying.
Okay, just friendly reminder.
Thank you.
Any other suggestions?
No, I need to read more.
Okay. So I'll get all of that together for you guys this weekend, and so it'll be, well, on Monday, you'll have a Teams available for you guys to sit there and look at.
Yeah, one question. When you say the start of the second year, that will end up in an AA or in a second
No, it would
certificate?
be the second certificate. So for them to get their AA, so the thing is about the grant is that they can't be getting their associates or their bachelors.
Okay.
Right? And so, but we want it stackable so that if they want to come back and get their associates or bachelors later on, they can come back and do that. So after this program, if they want to come back, because this is what happens to a lot of my students.
Okay. So,
Does that make sense? So that's why it's a stackable degree. So they're taking the foundation courses that first year. So they're taking general chemistry, they're taking general bio that first year. And then instrumentation courses along with that. Then they come back, if they want to come back, then they can come back and then they get the specialized courses, organic chemistry, more instrumentation in the chem area. If biotech, then they get more instrumentation in the biotech area, right? And then also they'll take your secondary courses in that biotech area, so they get more specialized that second time that they come back.
okay. Quick question.
Yeah.
So, the general technical certificate, that's 1 whole year.
Yes,
Okay. Then if they come back, yes,
then if they come back, then
they can do either or.
yes, they can do, but they have to have that Gen Tech
Yeah.
before they go into the other, yes.
Now, can they do both at the same time? Can they do one and then when they are done with?
Yes,
Yeah.
so you're saying, and rather than going straight to the internship, they can just do the next step, or are you saying, do the internship and then go to the next step?
No, I'm saying, can they do in parallel the biotechnology pathway and the chemtech pathway?
Yeah, they can, but I mean, course-wise, it's a heavy course.
Okay.
It would be a lot, and particularly because we're looking at people that are gonna be working as well.
Got you. And so can they finish one and then do the other path? Or
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. They can always come back and on board, since they've already had the Gen Tech, they could come back and on board and take the rest of the coursework.
No, it's super cool. Yeah. Okay.
Good questions, though. Any other questions?
No, Ken Henry.
Okay,
Yeah. Good luck trying to find another schedule time for next week, dude.
I know. It's like pulling teeth. Because I know my schedule,
I can do it Tuesday, Thursday morning, but I
Okay.
would prefer not because I have a long day.
Yeah. So I'll send you a message to find out what times are best for you. So,
And we have a Falcon Friday on Friday.
okay, so we definitely can, yeah.
Cool.
Okay,
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm okay.
so if there are no other questions, then we can talk offline.
I think that if we could add somewhere the word stackable just to make it clear. Because if you look at the key,
Yeah,
the three certificates look like they're on the same level. And
Right.
actually you cannot get
yeah.
the
You
blue
can't
and the red if you don't do the
without the
gray.
first time, yeah. So, yeah, I see what you're saying, but that's why you see, if you look at the red representing the biotech.
Yeah.
So you have to complete your gen tech before you can go here, and then.
So the red and the blue, they should start, because in my opinion, the blue and the red, they should start where the gray finish. The gray go till the end, right? But that's not true.
That's true, yeah. So, yeah, we should stop the gray right here.
And from there, the blue and the red should be born.
The grays goes to your graduation program and your career
Yeah,
placement.
they don't wanna keep going through either,
That's why you skip
Yeah.
through that.
Okay,
You see what I mean? Like,
yeah, so, but their idea is that it goes to your graduation, so this is like your stopping point, you stop early. But we could figure out a way of making the stop
yeah, I'm
point,
just trying to think, because from the graph, I didn't understand that you had to have the gray in order to have the blue or the red.
yeah, but that's why we had the red going from all the way from the start. All the way up to the top.
But that's not true. The red starts after you get the gray. It doesn't go from the start.
But that's true.
Never mind that. It's just that I got confused then. But now that I know, I understand it. At the beginning, I did not.
Okay, but yeah, but you're right, we should use the term stackable, right? We should put that in there somewhere, so stackable certificate. Yeah, but I understand what you're saying, I can see where the confusion lies.
I love the red blue there because then it shows that everyone's moving the same time. Yeah. That's true. But it does make sense to just do the gray.
It doesn't,
But leave it. I didn't understand it, but after we talked, now I can read it differently. It was just at the beginning. For orientation, for college, out of program. Okay.
Okay,
Yeah. Cool.
anything else?
No, no that I can think of at the Friday 2 p.m.
Good point, good point.
No. No. Let Eric go early to study.
Okay, I'll let Eric go early to study.
Okay. Bye, guys.
Okay, you have a good day.
Bye.
Bye. See you next week.